Alright everyone, it is Finn here. Welcome to a brand new video where of course today we're going to be talking about Southampton's brand new midfield signing, Joe Aribo, and the fact that I believe that this is the man to take Southampton to the next level. Now of course, yes, I know that is an absolutely gigantic statement, but of course if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you'll know I'm a gigantic fan of African football. I mean, if you couldn't tell already. And of course, when I heard that the likes of Super Eagle superstar Joe Aribo was moving from Rangers to Southampton, I knew I had to make a video about it because, as I said, I solidly believe that Joe Aribo is the future of Southampton. Of course, 25 years old, will be turning 26 at the end of July. But of course, looking at Joe Aribo at 25 years old, what he achieved at the likes of Rangers to move to Southampton for £6 million, an absolute steal. I believe Southampton have gotten themselves a real talent. As I said, the fact that he moved from Rangers for £6 million, especially in an era where you can sneeze into a tissue and sell that for £20 million, I have no idea how Southampton got away with that, but they've gotten themselves a class player. So of course, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Joe Aribo, who exactly is the Nigerian superstar, and how exactly will he fit into Southampton's system. Now of course, ladies and gents, if you do enjoy this kind of content, do of course leave a like down below, along with hitting that subscribe button if you have not already. But of course, without further ado, let's jump into things. Now of course, I feel like it is only appropriate in a video like this talking about Joe Aribo, we start off by talking about who exactly is Joe Aribo.
Who are you?
Well, although he's had many different games for the likes of the Nigerian Super Eagles, he was actually born in UK in London.
No way!
And has played for various different clubs around England. But of course, saying that he has never played for the Premier League before. So of course, playing for the likes of Southampton, this will be his first ever time, which, as I said, if Southampton know how to play him, and they know how to play him right, they've got themselves a real superstar. I mean, this man, in terms of the position he plays, of course, although he can play as a winger, which he has done on many occasions for Rangers, he of course is known to be more of a central midfielder, or even as an attacking midfielder. This man is big, he is physical, he is fast, he is the perfect athlete, and he will boss midfielders around in the Premier League. Of course, he's kind of known for having very long legs and very good at shielding the ball, which, as we know, the Premier League, known to be one of the most physical leagues in the world, will fit him just fine, especially when you compare him to other midfielders in Southampton's squad, such as James Ward-Prowse or Romero. I think he'll be a perfect fit. Of course, I feel like he'll almost do a very similar job to the likes of Romero, except for the fact that I think he's got a bit more of a cooler head on his shoulders. I feel like discipline-wise, he'll be a lot better, and of course, a lot better going forward. As I said, in terms of defensive and attacking abilities, this man is absolutely brilliant. Of course, looking at him at Rangers last season, 8 goals and 5 assists in 34 Scottish Premier League games. Of course, over the last 3 years with Rangers, the things he's accomplished has been massive. He'll go down as a legend in recent Rangers history. Of course, off the back of last season, had a major role in helping Rangers reach the Europa League final, and on top of that, over the last 3 years, helped Rangers reach a Scottish Premier League along with a Scottish League club. Joe Aribo is really leaving the Scottish Giants as a legend, and as I said, if he does a very similar job and plays a similar style at Southampton, I believe that he can leave yet again another legacy. Looking at Southampton, off of the back of last season, they're really going to want to look and improve. Look, I will be the first to say that I really like the Southampton team. I think they've got some brilliant players. They brought in some brilliant players on loan, but of course, losing those players who will be going back to their parent clubs, aka Chelsea, for a lot of those players, they really are going to miss that flary player in the squad, and I believe Joe Aribo is just that. As I said, Southampton will want to improve off of last season, of course ending 15th place in the Premier League, only 5 points off of the relegation zone. I mean, they could basically smell the Premier League relegation zone. That's not a good thing, especially with the Southampton squad and how long they've worked under Hassan Hutel. They would probably be hoping for at least a mid-table spot. Along with that, they really struggled to convert a lot of their draws to wins, drawing 13 games in the Premier League last season, about a third of their games, which is the 4th most draws in the entirety of the Premier League. As I said, it really is a special Southampton squad, and if they're able to convert those draws to wins, we could see something really deadly and really special. And as I said, I believe Joe Aribo could be the player to do just that. As I said, in terms of attacking ability, I already said how many goals and assists he got in the Scottish Premier League last season, but of course, look at him even from a defensive point of view. 3.18 aerial battles won per 90 minutes puts him within the top 99 percentile in world football compared to other midfielders from around the world over the last year. 1.71 interceptions per 90 minutes puts him within the top 95 percentile of attacking midfielders around the world. And of course, as I said, even from an attacking point of view, he gets an assist on average in 1 every 3 games, which once again is not a bad player to have in your squad. And if you play him in a midfield 2 or a midfield 3, he is going to be a dangerous, difficult animal to deal with, especially, as I said, in the Premier League when it comes to him playing against teams such as your Brighton, such as your Crystal Palace, or even against some of the bigger dogs. He's going to pose as a threat. And as I said, even in the box when it comes to corners, he is a big physical player. And versus your teams that struggle defensively when it comes to set pieces, such as my team, for example, Manchester United, he is going to play such a crucial role in terms of Southampton moving forward. As I said, I think the biggest role he's going to play in Southampton is the fact that I do believe he will win balls in defensive areas, and because of his speed, he will quickly be able to transition them into counter-attacks, and he is the exact kind of player that Southampton need. Of course, look at him exactly how I think Southampton should kind of set up with him. Of course, I do believe going forward that maybe a 4-2-3-1 is their best formation as opposed to a 4-3-3. As we know, they don't do that well with wingers. It helps them quite a bit when they play slightly deeper in the team. Of course, that's kind of the formation that they've used over the last few years with Southampton and Hassan Hutel. But of course, looking at Aribo, I believe he would fit perfectly into that number 10 position. As I said, he's done it on various different occasions at Rangers, even when the likes of Steven Gerrard ended up leaving the clubs. Of course, the new manager at Rangers kind of experimented a bit more with Aribo. And as I said, putting him in that attacking midfield position, I mean, it worked so well with the likes of Lundstrom last season, him being his midfield partner at Rangers. As I said, if you look at the likes of Aribo and you play him in that attacking midfield position under someone like either Shea Adams or Adam Armstrong, once again, I believe he'll work so well with the striker ahead of him. And I believe he'll even be able to rotate with a striker like him. Obviously, in the last 2-3 games for Rangers, he's actually almost played as a false 9 in terms of the way that he's played. As I said, because of his speed, I believe that he will be able to work well with the striker up front, almost forming kind of a striker partnership between the two, almost moving into a 4-4-2 kind of formation. As I said, also him having that excellent attacking ability puts a lot less pressure on the fullbacks in terms of their ability and a need, almost to say, to go up front into attacking areas. Obviously, looking at Kyle Walker-Peters and whoever the other fullback will be for Southampton last season, I mean, they really had to push last season to create attacking chances. But of course, if you have a really brilliant attacking midfielder, you have less pressure on those wide players. Of course, I mean, looking at a club like Liverpool, I think that's a great example. They don't quite have that attacking midfielder. I mean, they've obviously got Thiago, who steps up from time to time, but of course, due to that lack of attack in the midfield, they kind of use their fullbacks to go forward. As I said, with the likes of Joe Aribo added to the Southampton team, I do believe there's less of a need for that. Of course, they don't only have to play a 4-2-3-1 kind of formation. As we've seen for Nigeria on many different occasions, he's almost fit into a 4-4-2 formation as well, having that midfield partner in the center of the park, whether he's played for the likes of next to the likes of Iwobi or whoever it was, as I believe he will be able to do the same for Southampton this time around. Probably his best bet will be with the likes of James Ward-Prowse, or as I said, even the likes of Romero. It all depends on the balance you need for your opponents, whether you need to be able to go forward attacking wise or defensively. As I said, looking at Joe Aribo, I do believe he is a player who will have so much to offer when playing for Southampton. And as I said, the fact that they were able to steal him for £6 million, the Nigerian superstar who, as I said, is approaching the prime of his career. I mean, only 25 years old. He still has 2-3 years to reach his prime. He will be a special player, and I could almost see him on par with like a Basuma from Tottenham Hotspurs, obviously moving from Brighton to them, almost very similar to Decore in some way. A big physical midfielder who can do really, really well to go forward. And in fact, I think Joe Aribo will be better than players like them. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it for today's video. Of course, I wanted to update you on the Joe Aribo situation, myself being a huge fan of African football. And of course, I wanted to make more African football content in general. Of course, with lots of big African names moving around this transfer window, of course, I feel like it's only fair that I do cover quite a bit of that, as I know not a lot of people do that, and I feel like it is something that I should do. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you did enjoy this video. I want you to put down in the comment section down below, how well do you think Joe Aribo will do at Southampton? Give it a rating from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, whatever you choose down below. And as I said, guys, do like and subscribe if you did end up enjoying this video. As I said, this man is going to be an absolute superstar. He is an absolute beast, and he will accomplish a lot. Guys, this has been Finn, FYNN. Until next time, cheers.